first. I need a Nike bag, give me the check. I need the money and power, respect, but I promise I'm repping the O to the dead. Hey, I told them out of my way. I don't got nothing to say. Now they can't run at my pace. Yeah, they know that we ain't the same. 402, we rap the game. I told them this ain't a game.
Yo, guess who's back? Guess who's Bizak? Hey, what's good with y'all, man? Another Phins Take with CB83 episode. Hey, shout out to everybody in the building. We got 5 in the building so far. Hey, hit the like on your way in. Boy, do I have a treat for you guys tonight. Got my man Dudley Durong coming through. We're going to talk some Miami Dolphins. Talk about his big milestone of hitting 40K. That's what I'm talking about, bro. Shout out to the guys in the room so far. My man Raul P is in here. Raul, what's good with you, my man? What's popping with you, man? Raul says, watch out, Penguin and Cheetah, Doug and CB83 are together. You already know what time it is. Yes, sir. We back. Sean, what's good? He says, yo, CB, what's good, my boy? What's up with you? What's up with you? Clemente's in his joint. He says, what's good, CB83? My man, Shake Money, my brother from another mother. He says, what's good, everyone? It's another beautiful day in Zamunda. Another beautiful day, man. We got to love it, man. Blessed. Above ground. Can't complain, man. You already know what time it is. My man Kane's in the building. Shout out to Kane's, man. Kane's always holding it down. He says, what's up, CB83 and everyone? My man Finn Daddy, Dougie B, he says, good evening, all. What's good, man? What's going on with you, man? What's up, Finn Daddy? Dougie? What's popping, man? Looking forward to this episode. Man, I get to sit down with one of the heavy hitters, the heavy hitter in the Dolphins community. This man has like major networks chasing him down, like major networks trying to chase down his channel as far as subscribing goes. Man, it's crazy, man. You talking about operations with big business behind them, and this dude is up there killing him, just straight killing him, man. And we're gonna talk about that. I gotta get Doug in here. We're gonna chat about it. We're gonna talk about his endeavors, man, and we're coming up on an anniversary for him too, so it's gonna be cool to sit down, talk with Doug about his journey in the YouTube community, and just talk about how it started, how it began, and then talk some Miami Dolphins, because I know that's what y'all want to hear. I know that's what y'all here for. We're here to talk Miami Dolphins. Shout out to everybody in the room so far. Be sure to hit the like on your way in, let people know we're out there. Subscribe. I appreciate everybody coming out. I appreciate all my followers, all my subscribers. The channel is growing. We're growing slowly but surely, right? Brick by brick. That's how we doing it, man. We started off not too long ago, and we're here, man. We're slowly getting there. And we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about the grind a little bit. We're gonna talk about the journey, the YouTube journey. We're going to talk about Miami Dolphins. We're going to talk a little bit about everything, man. Personal life. We might ask some personal questions. We might talk about a little bit of everything, man. People have a lot going on in their lives outside of YouTube too. So we got to talk about a little bit about everything, but it's going to be cool to get Doug in here to chop it up. I appreciate everybody coming out so far. Hit the like on your way in. Be sure to subscribe. I appreciate everybody coming out. What's been up with everybody, man? Like, how do we feel about the Dolphins at this moment? We got our coaching staff kind of intact, right? Coaching staff's kind of intact. At this point, we're just waiting on the free agency period to open. Once that happens, we'll kind of know where our team is and what we need for the draft, right? And then we go into the draft and fill the rest of the needs. And then the team is together. They start the offseason work and just start getting it in and start preparing for the upcoming season. But it's a beautiful thing. I like where our team is right now. I like where we are. We've made some good moves. We just got to continue to build on top of that. And I was actually watching a Mike McDaniel's interview with Florio recently. I think it was Florio and the other guy, I forgot his name, the Tua haters, right? Watching that interview, and it went well. And Mike McDaniel has a really good way of saying a lot, but not saying much at all. So if you guys get a chance to check that out, be sure to check that out. But shout out to everybody in the chat so far. We got 12 in the room. My man Chef Jew is in here. He says, "What's good, OGCB83 and everyone? How y'all doing this evening? Check your pulse. Fins up, man. Fins up, Green Rat. You already know what time it is. Shout out to everybody in the chat, everybody coming through. Let's go ahead and get this started, man. I got my man in the back. Now, hey, this dude just hit 40K. I want you guys to understand what type of accomplishment that is. I'm at 600 subscribers. He just hit 40,000, not 400, not 4,000, 40,000, guys. You got to realize how big that is. It's a really, really big accomplishment. Just a huge accomplishment. Shout out to my guy Doug in the back. Go ahead and come up, Doug. Hey,
what's up, bud?
Yeah, and great seeing you.
You too, man. What's up,
man? How you feeling, man? How are you feeling?
I'm tired. My daughter is getting new teeth, so she's been up. My wife's upstairs right now with her. So
the teething process is just a whole different level.
Goodness. And right? It's the molars, so it's painful.
So they're the worst ones too. And then honestly, sometimes you don't even realize what. Like I went through the process. I got 2 kids. I got a 7-year-old and a 5-year-old, right? And some days they're popping fevers and you're like, what is going on? Like, why are you so upset? Like, what is wrong with you? Like, you give them everything. You give them snacks, you give them food. It doesn't matter. They don't want none of it. No. They like throw the food out of the way. Get it out of the way. They're just upset, bro. It's crazy, man. So you're dealing with the teething. How old is your daughter?
She's 2. She'll be 3 in December, so she's still young.
Oh man, yeah. Not a lot of sleep, right?
Like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock sometimes, and it's just so that's when I'm doing work. My wife goes to sleep, and then I just start editing. I start film breakdown. I do all that stuff.
That's cool, man. And let's get into it a little bit, man. So you started this journey. So I went back and watched the first video, man. So I went back. It was great, man. So the topic was, I think, Jarvis Landry being traded, and I think Ndamukong Suh, right? So I went back and watched the video, and I'm like, damn, this dude started this basically 5 years ago, right? You're coming up on your 5-year anniversary. What's the date on it?
March 12th will be 5 years.
March 12th. So we're actually about 12 days away from Doug's 5-year anniversary of recording. Man, that's pretty impressive. How does it make you feel? Like, and did you imagine yourself being here in 5 years?
No, it's funny. I started because I noticed that we weren't getting the fair shake when it came to coverage. And I have my degree in media. So I was like, well, I can edit, I could do audio, I can do film, I could do all that stuff. I'm like, let me take both and put them into one. Because we weren't. Like, I remember back in I think it was 2004, we were 2-12 facing the 12-2 Patriots on Monday Night Football. We beat them. And it was, Tom Brady lost the game for them.
Right.
Lost this. And instead of being like, well, look at the Dolphins with AJ Feely as their quarterback, just beat the Patriots. Like, it was. So I was like, I'm going to start this stuff. And it was more of just to communicate and bring people together and chat about the Dolphins. I never thought I would break 40K in 5 years.
Man,
that's interview Richmond Webb, Vince Beagle, like Juice, OJ McDuffie, and Patrick Laird. It's just crazy to me. It's absolutely crazy to me.
That's such a great accomplishment, man. I'm proud of you. And looking back on that in that 5 years, man. So 40K subscribers in 5 years. And honestly, I went way back. I went way back. I kept digging. Doug. You've been doing YouTube for over 10 years now.
Yeah.
Like you were doing your other stuff, which your other stuff is funny as hell. I can't like I'm gonna say one privacy. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, right? So some of your older stuff is really, really funny too. And you were doing that a while. And then I went and checked out Bit Boys too. Bit Boys is great. And you still do that, right?
Yeah, we're getting back into the groove of things. Me moving out of Bayonne, where all my friends were, kind of put a monkey wrench in it, and then having a baby, kind of all that stuff. But yeah, we're getting back into the groove. Going to start doing Bit Boys again, and it's, yeah, that was my idea. I was going to go into the media. I was going to go into film. I was going to, I started interning at Prime Focus in New York City, who works with A&E and History Channel, all that stuff. I was going towards that venture. Right, it was such a hassle. You need to have experience to get work, but to get work, they want experience, and it's like,
it's a lose-lose situation, right?
Yeah, and then they're like, "Oh, you can intern." I'm like, "I already interned." Okay, you can be a runner, which essentially a runner is, "Oh, we have this reel of film. We need you to bring it to 47th Street and then come back." And then, "Oh, we have these clients come in. You have to get their coffee." And that's a runner. You're just do boy work, right? And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do other things. And I just got lucky. I'm doing this in real estate. So I kind of got lucky.
That's what's up, man. Hey, that's a real accomplishment, man. So you're coming up on 5 years, 40,000 subscribers. Like how do you feel as far as the Miami Dolphins go? Let's talk about last season a little bit first. Like what's your thoughts on last season? Like if you could like generalize it in a couple sentences, like how do you feel the Dolphins did last season and where could we improve?
We were unlucky, incredibly unlucky, especially when it came to the health. The corners, like Trill Williams, injured. We bring in Alexander, he gets injured. It's like Nick Needham, he gets injured. Brandon Jones, we were just so unlucky, but we still winning, right? Like we had a secondary that was decimated. The reason we were winning is because we had the 6th overall offense, right? The game against the Bears, games against the Lions, back and forth, scoring touchdowns. The Ravens game, scoring touchdowns. With a lot of the offense making up for the lack of the defense, whereas the past 2 years, it was the defense making up for the lack of the offense.
But I feel like people want to really acknowledge that, though. I feel like, they'll put it all on the offense and the quarterback. We've seen it, Doug, right? Right. It's just kind of difficult to get people out of that mindset of, hey, the quarterback's the most polarizing figure on our football team. He needs to be leading us to victories, even when the defense isn't playing well. And I understand. I mean, I played, high school and college. It's like, you got to understand, though, that sometimes it's just not good enough. There's going to be days where the offense isn't great. And there's going to be days where the defense isn't great, but somehow you got to find a way to make it work between it all, right?
And we noticed that because the games where the defense wasn't great, the offense stepped up, and that's where a lot of those wins came from. But then the days that the offense wasn't great, the defense really didn't step up that much. It kind of, the Vikings game, that was a game where the defense stepped up. It was the offense 100%. You forced that Vikings offense to punt 10 times. You need to put the ball.
They did their job.
Exactly. But when it comes to the team in general, what kills me is I saw so much growth from Tua, and I saw the consistency start to build, right? A lot of people are like, oh, he wasn't consistent. He had a bad game here and then, but the consistency started to build, the 4-game stretch, the 3-game stretch, and then I noticed whenever he'd have a bad game, he'd bounce back and then the consistency would start to go in. And I noticed that with the second Bills game. He had a good second Bills game. He had a good first half of that Packers game, and then the concussion happened. I honestly think that if that concussion never happened, he would have started to build back up and have that consistent run, because the Patriots, Tua is the Patriots' kryptonite. Like that, we found their kryptonite. They can't beat Tua. And I honestly think he would have beat the Jets and then going. So, but we just got so unlucky with him and his health problems. And to me, that's my only gripe with Tua now. I seen the growth, and I seen that he's going to continue to get better. He still needs to get better in certain aspects of his game. But
Yeah,
I've
of
seen
course.
what I need to see. Now it's like I don't know if I could trust him to stay healthy, and that's what worries me.
Yeah, and I think that's where I am too. And honestly, I was really frustrated, by the fact that he wasn't playing late in the season last season. I thought he would have an opportunity to come back for the playoff game. I don't know if it was him. I don't know, if it was the doctor saying, "Hey, you can't go," but that was just really frustrating that he couldn't come back and help us get that win. Because honestly, I think if we have 2 on the field, there's a different outcome for sure.
Yeah, give all the credit to Skyler, right? Seventh
Oh,
round
yeah.
pick. He did what he could do, but those 2 interceptions killed us. It was such a close game. You can't have those interceptions, and that's where Tua is smarter with the ball, right? He was still pushing it, but he was smarter with the ball. Even the bad games, he didn't really throw many interceptions against the 49ers and the Chargers.
Yeah. All his picks kind of came in Green Bay, and it's like Christmas Day. Like you gift wrapping presents, huh? That's what you're doing.
And it's so funny too, because when it was happening, I was like, "What is wrong with him?" Like
I thought something was clearly up.
Like
I was thinking to myself, like, damn, like after the second one, I'm like, yo, something's up. Like, should we take him out of the game? Because I don't know if he's in his right state of mind right now. And then you just saw it continue. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what a complete meltdown.
Obvious. The first one, you're like, all right, he sailed it, whatever.
Yeah.
One, you're like, what are you throwing, man?
The second one was like, he's seeing ghosts, like something's wrong. Like,
and then the third one, the way the corner stepped up and then dropped back to intercept it, I was like,
yeah.
You watch that first
dagger.
Two is on fire. We got this game. He's back. He's clicking, and all of a sudden you're like, who is this man? Like, what is going on?
I was sick. I'm telling you that. I think that might have been one of the worst Christmas days I've had in a long time, because I was just like looking at the TV like, this can't be real. And I honestly, I was at my parents' house, and I went out to the back patio, and I just called my boy, and I was like, what happened? What happened? And it was like, man, I don't know, but he shouldn't have been in that game, like, because he just clearly had a meltdown.
What happened?
Like,
they were breaking down film, and he was like, Mike McDaniel's like, why'd you throw that? He's like, I don't even know. I don't even remember it. And then he's like,
bro, go see the doctor, bro. Get out of here.
What is going on?
Something's wrong with you, bro. It's crazy, man. But yeah, just to kind of reel it in, man. So, I mean, we have a season where, we get into the playoffs, we squeak in, right? We end up playing really well. We play the Bills tough, and that's the first game all year I thought the defense just really brought it. In every phase, like the way they were playing, the way they were blitzing, they were aggressive, they played tough. Honestly, I felt like if our defense had played like that earlier in the season, we probably wouldn't have been in that situation.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Yeah, probably wouldn't have been in that situation. But we end the season. It's a tough loss. Everybody respects our season and what we did. How do you feel about the Boyer situation and the Fangio hire?
I love it. I was done with Boyer. It was like
early on.
There was a lot of situations where I'm like, what are you calling? And I think when I was officially, because I would be like, I'd be pissed watching the game, and then I'd take a step back and be like, all right, well, the secondary's decimated, and I'll give them, and then I get mad, and then I'm like, the secondary, and then, but that Bills game with the 3rd and 17 and the Chargers game with the goal line, that's when I was like, I'm done, because you got to recognize that
what's going on,
are putting your corners that aren't top notch on an island because you're sending 3 or 4 and not blitz. But then you go into red zone situation and you'll send a blitz, leave the running back. Like, he was just making the wrong calls at the wrong time. And I was like, and he kept dropping Phillips back into coverage. He'll take them.
Yeah, just a lot of questionable calls, and like playing guys in prevent defense in the red zone. I don't understand calls like that. Like I've never seen defensive coordinators do it. So for you to be doing it at the NFL level in situations like this, it's kind of like, yo, what are you doing? and for Mike McDaniels to be walking down the sideline and be like, yo, you got to fix this. Like it clearly was, he was kind of in over his head. I understand the injuries hurt, man.
Oh,
And
yeah.
honestly, the injuries probably led him to make some calls that were questionable. Like he didn't, you could tell he didn't trust his guys out there.
Yeah. He was trying to overcompensate.
So, yeah, trying to overcompensate by making, crazy calls. But just line up and play football. If you're gonna get beat, get beat. Get beat playing aggressive and press man or do something like that. Don't just let them sit back and eat you up, man. I wanted Boyer to I really wanted Boyer to work. I did. But when you look,
I just, especially because there was the talks that he was controlling the defense the past 2 years, and it's like, what's the truth? And now we obviously know what the truth is. But I love that Mike McDaniel recognized it. I think that's his biggest accomplishment, is bringing in Vic Fangio, because he recognizes, okay, I got this offense where I need it to be. I need to bring someone in I can trust to get the defense to where the offense is. And he did it in one season. Like I love that he brought the yin to his yang in. Okay, I don't need to worry about the defense anymore. I brought in this guy who, knows what he's doing. Now I could just focus on what I'm doing and calling timeouts at the right time and getting the plays in quicker.
right. Getting plays in, calling timeouts, challenges, right? Those are some things he struggled with, right? So hopefully the Fangio hire does kind of just let him focus on the offense. Fangio solidify the defense and just, get out there and play fast and get the calls in. I think we have a really good shot at being a really good football team. Honestly, the past 3 to 4 years, I could have said the same thing. We've had really good football teams. This football team is probably the best we've had in a long time. Yeah. How do you feel about that?
The talent's there, and the young talent's there. And this is something we can most definitely build on. There's some pieces that still need to be added here and there, but it's not as bad as it usually is. Like, we still have the core of the offensive line in Robert Hunt, in Connor Williams, and in Teron Armstead. You need to add some pieces there. We have no running backs under contract. That's something that needs to be addressed. And then on the defensive side, it's, I like the corners that are coming back. I like Trill Williams. I like, we're bringing back Nick Needham. I'd be shocked if they didn't. I like the way Cater's playing. Brandon Jones will be back, and I like this. It's just a few pieces. Like on the defense, there's like 4 or 5 players that need to be added. On the offense, it's mostly focused on the offensive line, bringing some running backs. So we're there. We're very close. It's just
very close.
Just gotta stay healthy.
And that's a big part of it, man. And injuries happen in football, but it's like we don't want them to happen to our team, right? And like we dealt with so many injuries last year on the defensive side. The offensive line was shuffling every week. Like what do you think we need as far as offensive line? Do you think we need a guard and a tackle? Do you think we need both? Do you think we need one of them? Like, how do you feel about that line right there?
I would be very open to a lot of things, but I know that they're not going to move Connor Williams. They'll probably keep him at center, but I would be totally down if they could get a center and move him to left guard, and then all of a sudden you're really set. But I'm pretty sure they're going to stick with him at center. To me, if Tua's your starter, and if they've come out and they've already said, he's our guy for this upcoming year, he started doing all the things he needs to do, prepare for the season, you got to get a right tackle, and you got to get a good right tackle. Bring back, the guy that was, took over for Austin Jackson last year. He was a very good, backup.
Backup guy. Yeah.
But you need to go out and you need to get a good right tackle, and then you need depth, because that's where we got killed. Is once Teron Armstead went down, once Austin Jackson, once all these guys started going down, we got killed. I think we at one point we were running with our 6th tackle. It was horrible, and we were still winning.
still winning games.
Because Mike McDaniel knows how to scheme. All right, well, we need to get the ball out quick, and we can attack the middle of the field. But him and Tua need to get better at, when things are getting taken away, to adjust quicker, because that's what happened with the 49ers and the Chargers game. Him and Tua just couldn't adjust, and then we went back to home, and then all of a sudden they started making the adjustments. So they need to be quicker at making those adjustments.
Yeah, I think the halftime adjustments were like key in those games.
Mhm.
And, you know, I went back and watched the film with some of my subscribers and just kind of went through it and saw like what Tua was doing well, what he was doing bad. He did struggle versus like press man when they were kind of, bumping guys off routes. And he's got to do a better job in those instances of just kind of being patient, waiting for guys to get open and just kind of leading them to a spot instead of throwing right at them. I mean, we got guys who can separate. It's just a matter of giving them that time to separate. I mean, it's kind of tough. Things are going to be a little different than what you expect sometimes, but those defensive game plans that, kind of punched us in the mouth, they really were just kind of like different, from week to week. Like it just kind of really shocked the offense. And then they were kind of like, damn, what are we doing in this situation? And we just adjusted a little bit too late, man.
Yeah, and it didn't help that, we thought we'd have a better offensive line. We had the 32nd in 2021 last year. We had the 22nd, so it was a little bit better, but it wasn't good enough. The amount of pressures we gave up, the time that Tua had to throw. I think he was 34th ranked in the NFL. He didn't have much time to throw. So a lot of people look at the fact that we don't have a lot of yak and the fact that our wide receivers don't have that much separation, and they try to equate it to, oh, well, he doesn't put the ball where it needs to be. He doesn't lead his receivers. It's because he's got to get the ball out quick. He's got to drop back, and then he has to make his first read, second read, get the ball out because he doesn't have time in the pocket, which is crazy when you think of the additions we made. So, it's a lot. And then, that's the other aspect of bringing in Vic Fangio. You're going to be facing that defense all camp.
Very good point.
Practice and all that stuff. So Vic Fangio is going to be teaching Tua the flip side of it, of what to look for, how to play this pressure, what to anticipate, throw to the outside, the inside. Okay, we're going to give you man press. This is what you got to do. This is in zone.
Yeah.
So I think, Vic Fangio is not only going to be helping the defense out a lot, it's going to be helping Tua out a lot as well.
Yeah, I think so too. That's a really good point, man. And I think when it comes to like defense versus offense, it really is like iron sharpens iron. So, if your defense is good and, they're putting pressure on your offense every day. And that's one of the things I loved about coaching was, competing. Like my offensive line unit, I wanted my guys to get after the defensive line every day. And I would go out there and psych those guys up. Like, yo, we coming at y'all neck today because you already know what time it is. And they would be so hyped. They would be getting off the ball. They would be licking their chops ready to go. But it was so good for the team. It was so good for the atmosphere, for the competitiveness of what we were putting out there, that it would just breed good football when you're competitive like that. So it's really good to see it, and I'm sure it's going to translate, especially defense and offense, for our team, because Fangio is going to have those guys ready to go. And I mean, we got great players on defense, we got great players on offense. Those guys competing every day is going to be money. It's going to be must see TV too. Are you going to get a chance to come down and go to training camp or go to any games this year?
I'm definitely going to a game. That's 100%. Me and my father will be coming down for definitely to go to a game. Training camp. I don't know about training camp, but definitely a game.
Okay, cool. And that's crazy. So my pops is a big Dolphins fan too, and honestly, he is the only reason that I'm a Miami Dolphins fan.
Same.
Right. So my pops was born in Melbourne, Florida, which is a little bit south of Orlando, but it's kind of closer to Miami than anything. And, he was born in the 50s. So born in the 50s, the only team in at the time is the Miami Dolphins. So that's how I became a Dolphin fan. And he just passed that down to me, my brother, my sister. My mom's a Dolphin fan. Like, what was your journey like with your dad being a Dolphin fan? Where are you guys from, and how did that come about?
So me and him, his father, all born in New Jersey. So, you would think like, how that happened? Well, he was born
Right.
He was born 65. So he was around 7 when the perfect season happened, and he grew up with the Dolphins being one of the best teams in football, 70s, 80s. And then I was born in 87. So I got to watch Marino. I got to watch my dad's love of the game and love of the Dolphins. And that's what got me into the Dolphins. My grandfather is a huge Cowboys Dolphins fan because, again,
Oh, really?
70s, those were the echelon of the NFL. 70s, 80s was the Dolphins and the Cowboys. So that's
Right.
where all that came in with, it was just him watching his father, me watching my father. But yeah, New Jersey, born and raised, all three of us.
That's cool, man. New Jersey, born and raised. I know you get shit all the time, boy. Hey, are any of your family members Dolphins fans, or outside of like your immediate family, or is it just kind of you guys?
My uncle used to be a Dolphins fan, but then he became a Giants fan when they weren't too good. Because see, you can't do that though. Like for me, I'm always going to be a Dolphins fan. But my mom's side of the family, they're all Giant fans. And they tried their hardest to get me to be a Giants fan.
Really?
Like, no, I can't.
Yeah, can't do it, right? I got you. It makes sense. So yeah, man, I'm one of those loyal fans too. We're loyal fans. I'm not going anywhere. It don't matter if we're 0 and whatever. I'm still gonna be here rooting for my team. Like off-season moves. We'll talk about this briefly before we wrap up. I know you gotta go, but like what would it take to get guys like Bobby Wagner, Jalen Ramsey, Dalvin Cook? Are these guys you will wanna? Are you interested in these guys, or what do you think about these guys?
I'd love to get Poyer, Ramsey, and Wagner. I think they add those three. I think the defense is going to be ridiculous.
That would be
cap wise. Could they? I don't know. Even draft pick wise, could they? I don't know. I think they could add Wagner, and I think they could add Poyer when it comes to cap friendly deals. But I think a lot of it just has to do with Miami now and wanting to play for Vic Fangio, and on offense wanting to play for Mike McDaniel, because Mike McDaniel got the best year out of Tyreek Hill, and that is splitting with Jalen Waddle. So just imagine if we didn't have Jalen.
Just imagine if Tua's playing. Like those 5 games he missed, it's like, man, the numbers would have been astronomical.
I looked this up because so many people wanted to say, Tua made Tyreek Hill. No, Tyreek Hill made Tua better, and Jalen Waddle made Tyreek Hill better. With Tua, Tyreek Hill averaged 104 yards per game, and Waddle averaged 89.1 yards per game. Without Tua, Tyreek Hill averaged 88.5 yards per game, and Waddle 55.2 yards per game. It was a huge drop in production when Tua wasn't on the field. So, it's a yin and yang situation. So,
yeah, you're talking about like 70 yards of production right there that, they missed out on as a result of Tua not being in the game. And I understand, people who say, hey, his health is a concern. Like, 100%. I totally understand that. But what you're not going to tell me is the kid is not good enough to play. And I've heard the narratives with him, not being good enough. But after watching this season, you have to admit to yourself that he's gotten better. Like,
oh yeah.
And if you can't admit that, I don't think I can, have a plausible conversation with you, because it's not worth it. So I think, when we look at Tua and his development, I think he's getting better. We've seen a leap. What would you want to see from him next year? Like, what are you looking forward to seeing?
I would love to see the consistency grow. Now, I've heard people say, someone actually said to me, I want to see 16 straight elite games out of him. And I'm like, show me a quarterback in the NFL that has 15 straight elite games. Like Joe Burrow started the season throwing 4 interceptions. Look at Josh Allen versus the Jets. Patrick Mahomes started the season like garbage. Like the expectations for Tua are ridiculous. But I just want to see more consistency. I want to see him being able to make the adjustments, because like you said, he's grown. And a lot of people will equate that to, well, look at the system he was put in, and look at the weapons put around him. That's what you do for a quarterback. Like Joe Burrow, they put his LSU system in the playbook his rookie year, then went out and got Jamar Chase, and he has T. Higgins, and he has Mix. They put the system around him. They gave him the weapons. Justin Herbert, they put the system around him. They gave him what. But
that's all it takes.
It's a hindrance for Tua. Oh, that's only because they finally did what they do for NFL quarter. It's just ridiculous. But what I would like to see is for him to stay healthy. I want to see a minimum of 15 games out of him. Like I understand that he might get banged up in we might miss 2 games, but I need to see him play minimum of 15 games, and I need to see the progression continue because he's gotten better.
Yeah.
Like you said, if you can't sit here and say he's gotten better from 2021 to 2022, you're just lying to yourself.
Just
But I
lying
need
to
that
yourself.
to continue. I need to see
Yeah.
him continue to get better. Because if he regresses and he can't stay healthy, then it's like, well, it might be time to move on.
Yeah, and I think you're so on point with it. And man, if you guys don't follow Doug, make sure you go follow him. Subscribe to his channel. Man, you've got over 1,500 videos like on your channel, bro.
Do I really?
I got yes, bro. You have a lot of content, dude. Like you put out a lot of content. You're always addressing the key topics. You're always putting out good stuff. You're a treasure in the Dolphins community, man. You got to keep grinding, keep doing what you're doing. A lot of these guys in this chat are proud of you too, man. I just want to shout some of these guys out real quick. Across the pond, Jimmy Satterfield, Raphael, Florida born, Cap for Life, Irv, everybody in here, man. I know a lot of these guys are my supporters for day one, so I wanted to shout them out for coming through, man. I appreciate you having me, man. And honestly, I appreciate you coming out. But honestly, we got to do this more often. Maybe we get you on again just to talk some Dolphins. I mean, what are you? So you're coming up on your 5-year anniversary, right? You're 12 days from 5-year anniversary. What are you going to do for that? Like, are you have anything planned for it?
I might go live, kind of like I did for the 40K. Go live, chat. If you're free, maybe I'll have you on.
Okay, that'd be cool.
Chat it up, stuff like that. I don't know.
That's cool. That's cool. Hey, so did you used to go live a little bit more back in the day, or like do you do it more now? Like what?
Yeah, my wife used to work nights. She's a nurse, so she works 12 hours. She used to work 12-hour shifts. She's now in the OR where she works 5 days a week. So she used to work nights, and when she would work nights, I go live. Now she's home every night, so it's hard for me to go live. But she understands that, you know, I need to go live, need to communicate more with, you know, the audience and all that stuff. So now I'm designated at least one day a week where I go live. So
that's cool. That's cool, man. And you've been doing this for a long time, man. 5 years in the game. I mean, what do you expect the next 5 years to look like? What do you think? Like,
I'm hoping more growth. I'm hoping to consistently I want to get more players on and pick their brain more. I want to be, I've been contacted by the Dolphins. I'm in communication with the Dolphins. I want to build a relationship with the Dolphins more to support them with their programs, because they have, you know, the cancer, the biking,
the DCC challenge.
I want to like help them with that, promote that, get more help there. So I think in the next 5 years, I want to build a better relationship with the Dolphins, get more players on, grow. And then I'll probably start covering more NFL too, because I cover the NFL, but not as much as the Dolphins.
I got you, man. Hey, it's great seeing you do what you do. I've been a subscriber for a very long time, so been watching you for a while, man. Just keep up the good work, keep up the grind. Hey, if you guys don't subscribe to Dudley, go do that now. Be sure to subscribe to Bit Boys too. I see you guys playing all the games over there. The shit's hilarious, man. I love it. I love it.
They got to be prepared for a different Doug.
Yeah. And I watched Early Doug. Early Doug was a wild boy, man. Early Doug was a wild boy. Man, so hey, great having you, man. Appreciate you coming through, man. Tell the family I said hello, and cheers, bro.
Talk to you soon. We'll get you on my channel, man.
All right, sounds good, man. Have a good one, man.
You too, bud.
All right, later. Guys, Dudley Do Wrong. Hey, I appreciate him coming through. That's big time right there, man. Doug's been doing it for a long time. Cats in the community strive to be like him, bro. He puts out good content. He does it regularly. He's consistent. You can't hate on that at all. Can't hate on that, man. Just to reset real quick, we got 40 in the building. Hit the like. If you haven't subscribed, be sure to do that. Man, what a show. I had Doug on, man. What a show, man. That's cool. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We got Raphael in here. It says Carr way better than Fitzgerald. Knew it, bro, about Tua. What do you ask? Let's ask some questions. Ask me some questions. What do you guys want to talk about? Just had Doug on. I'm gonna go probably for another 20 to 30 minutes or so and just kind of chat with you guys about Miami Dolphins. But yeah, man, I see you guys are getting after it in the chat. Man. Yeah. So ask me some questions, man. Let's get after it. So looking at our situation right now, we have the draft coming up. We got free agency coming up. Some of the guys I'm interested in. I'm interested in Bobby Wagner. Interested in Jalen Ramsey. I'm a Seminoles fan, guys. So you got to understand this. Jalen Ramsey is that dude. He is. And if Ramsey was a Dolphin, we could only imagine like what type of player he'd be in the system. And the reason I like Ramsey so much is he's versatile. He could play inside the box. He could play outside. The dude, he could cover. He can tackle. I like dudes who are versatile like that. He's going to step up and make plays in the run game. We need guys who are going to be versatile and who can do a little bit of everything. I think it's only going to make the Dolphins better. So I'm really looking forward to trying to acquire him. Hopefully that's something the Dolphins pull the trigger on. We definitely need some offensive line help. So the offensive line will be something we need to address. Right tackle is a must. We got to get that. We got to get somebody to protect to his blind side, somebody who's going to be consistent, man. So it would be nice to get Ramsey, nice to get Wagner. We need some offensive line help. We got to sign some running backs. I like Mostert and Jeffrey Wilson. I like Mostert and Jeff Wilson. Now, I think we need a better offensive line if those are going to be our guys. And that's the situation with that. If they're going to be our guys, we need a better offensive line. Now, if we're going to keep the same offensive line, go get a dude. Go get a dude who can make it happen. You know, I don't want to pay a guy. I don't want to pay a running back, over 12 mil. Like I'm not paying a running back like 11, 12, 13 million dollars. I'd like to pay a good guy, maybe 8, 7 to 8. Man, I don't know. Josh Jacobs is solid. He's a dog. We can get a guy like Josh Jacobs in that running back room and, bring back a Mostert. We'd be a problem. We'd be a real problem. So just looking forward to some of the moves, man. Raphael says, I wish we get Texas running back draft day fall to the second round. Oh, that would be nice. What's his name? Dude's a monster. I doubt he falls to the second round though. Really doubt he falls to the second round. Yeah, Raphael says he loves Josh Jacobs. Yeah, he's that dude. Across the pond talk, sports talk. What's good with you, man? What's going on, man? It's good to see you. What did he say here? He says there are running backs everywhere in draft rounds. Yep, there are running backs everywhere. Hopefully we can get a guy that's gonna basically get in this system and work, man. Like Mostert and Jeff Wilson were solid. They were a little too banged up though. We need some guys who are going to be more durable. We need some durable guys, and we need that offensive line to step up, man. Step up for real. Irvin says, sounds okay to me because Connor is an average subpar pass blocker at center with some good games, was very good at run blocking, is much better blocker at left guard than center. I could see that. And honestly, you got to think too, this is Connor's first year really playing center. And what's crazy about Connor Williams is he didn't really play a lot of center last year, like with Dallas. So he played a lot of guard. So he expected to play guard when he came here, and then he gets switched to center. So he kind of really didn't have an offseason, practicing, getting his technique right for playing, center in the NFL, right? So now he has an offseason to train his body, get where he needs to be. in the offseason. And maybe he comes back an even better pass blocker at center than he was last year, just as a result of knowing where he's going to be and being locked in that position and understanding what he has to do to get his body ready. So we got to keep that in mind as well. So I'm looking forward to really seeing these guys grow this offseason, because honestly they haven't had a full offseason with McDaniel. And that's something we got to keep in mind. McDaniel's a rookie head coach. It was his first year as our coach here. You got to give guys some time to grow in the system, right? And then some guys will be moved out of the system. Some guys will be moved in. This is McDaniel's first year with the team. He can't do everything he wants to do in year one to get the team where it needs to be, right? A lot of what he was doing last year is taking what he had and making the best of it. So you're taking lemons and you're making lemonade with that group. He was able to get some key pieces in here that really changed the dynamic of his locker room and his football team, like Tyreek Hill, Melvin Ingram, Bradley Chubb. You got some guys in here who could really make a difference. Connor Williams, Terran Armstead. But now you bring in some more pieces to just stack on top of that. And those guys that didn't really cut it this season, you kind of push those guys to the back burner and you elevate some guys in front of them. You go pick up some guys, whether it's drafting guys, but building a football team is a very slow process. It's not a wake and bake thing. It's not just snap of the fingers. It's done. It's difficult to do. So you got to keep that in mind too. And Irv says that's true too, CB. There's definitely room for him to grow as a pass blocker at center. Has to get his snap issues under control. And yeah, snap issues were a thing for him. I don't think he had too many snap issues. Now, like I said, first year center, right? First year really working in that system. He's going to have a couple hiccups. This year, he's going to have a full offseason to work on his snaps, work on his movement and his snaps. That's going to be key for him going into next year. And I'm sure next year he'll have a lot less of that just because it'll be cleaned up. His technique will be better. He'll understand where he needs to be, how he needs to snap when he's stepping in different directions and things like that. So snaps is always a thing too, man. I haven't coached offensive line for a very long time. I've dealt with my center issues, right? Especially at high school level. A lot of guys really don't know how to snap like that. It's almost a lost art. It's almost a lost art in football is snapping, right? So even long snapping, teach if you got kids and they're playing football, teach them how to long snap. You know, that's something they can add into their repertoire that's a little bit different from other guys because they're going to have a niche and they're always going to be needed. So have them get on YouTube, watch some of the snapping videos, whether it's long snapping, short snapping, whether it's an offensive line, center snapping, all of that. All those guys are necessary in the game of football. All of it's necessary. So really key parts, man. So looking at our offense, man, I think running back wise, we got to get a guy in. Re-sign one of the guys we got. Got to get a backup quarterback. I hear the Mariota talk. I hear the Baker Mayfield talk. I hear the Carson Wentz talk. There's so many guys out there. I don't care who you get as a backup. Just get somebody who's good enough and who's won some games in the NFL. That's all I want. I want guys, and not who's won like one or two games here or there. No, some guys who have really won games. Like they've came in and played well for their team when they needed to and won a game. So yeah, man, that's what I want to see, man. Appreciate you, Shake. My man Shake says, good interview. You do great content. I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate you guys coming through, man. And Jimmy Satterfield says, especially long snappers, bro. If you got kids and they're playing football, you might as well teach them how to long snap. It's a lost art. A lot of kids don't know how to do it. They have no idea what's going on. Jimmy Satterfield says Baker Mayfield. Okay, you like Baker? I think Baker's got a little moxie. Now, I don't know if Baker becomes a locker room issue or attitude. I don't want to put that stigma on Baker. I just want to say he's a competitor and he's going to compete. I think he's good for Tua. I think he pushes Tua. I think that's some of the moxie you need behind Tua is somebody with that attitude. Like, hey, bro, if you don't get it done, then shit, I'm next up, and I will. Like, I think you need some of that. And I think it may make Tua a little uncomfortable, but bro, being uncomfortable is good sometimes. It brings out the best in people, and that's what that competition is, man. My man across the pond says Canadians still have good long snappers. We send them down there to specialize. I hear you. I like it. Sal says, "Where's the wolf pack?" Wolf pack alert. We hear it in the comments. Throw the wolf pack in the comment. Throw the wolf pack emoji in the comments. Y'all already know what time it is. Where y'all at? They on the sidelines today. They saw Doug, and I think me and Doug together are too much kryptonite for the wolf pack. I think that's just, they can't handle that. That's just too much positivity in one place. It's just too much. I see it. There it is. The wolf pack emoji. Hey, if y'all don't know what the Wolfpack emoji is, man, just type wolf in your iPhone when you search the emoji. It'll pop up. Put the Wolfpack emoji in the chat. You already know what time it is, man. Wolfpack hiding tonight. Cross the Pond says Mason Moss, both Sam Mariota, Hawaiian punch combo. Okay, that would be nice. I'm not mad at Mariota. I like Mariota as a football player. I think we could do a little bit better than Mariota, but I don't know. I think he's a good option. Now, I don't like the fact that, you know, they know each other. They're both Hawaiian. I don't like that. That's too brotherly for me. I don't know if Tua feels too comfortable in that situation. So honestly, I think that Mariota situation might be too nice. Maybe too many rainbows and bunny rabbits for Tua. I think we need something a little more edgy for competition. So I might stay away from the Mariota because, you know, we're brothers, we're happy and we're singing. No, we're not doing that in the locker room, bro. It's put up or shut up. And if you can't put up and be healthy, then bro, we gotta find somebody who will. And I really like Tua. Tua's my guy. You guys know that. You know how I feel about QB1. But he's gotta be a guy who's gonna, you know, stay healthy for the duration of the season. That's important to me. We can't have a starting quarterback that's going to be out 5 games. It's just, we can't win like that in the NFL. Can't win like that. But shout out to everybody in the chat. I appreciate you guys. Hit the like if you can on your way out. I'm going to hang around for a little bit, man. Y'all ain't got no questions for me, man. Shoot a question in the chat. Let me know what you guys think about it, man. I want to continue to talk some Dolphins. Now, let's see here. He said I could see Tua doing a musical with Will Ferrell. That's funny. Yeah, I can see that too. Y'all saw Tua at his birthday? Tua was wilding, wasn't he? Bro. Yeah, Tua was wilding out at his birthday party. Y'all check that out. Him and Rick Ross, the biggest boss. That was pretty cool to see, man. No brotherly love in the QB room. No, we're not doing that. No brotherly love. Very good point, Jimmy. Very good point. Armstead does need to stay healthy, man. Everybody needs to stay healthy. It'd be nice, right? We're going to take some on the chin. I get it. We're going to take some lumps here and there. There's going to be some guys who get injured. But we need as many guys as we can staying healthy, locked in, playing, man. We need guys playing and competing. My man Ritter says, would you take Flacco or Bridgewater? Take Bridgewater back? I'm done with the Bridgewater experiment. Done with the Bridgewater experiment. Flacco, I don't want Flacco. There's better guys than Flacco. Next question. Byron Jones saga, retirement or still playing? Ooh, wee. This is a good topic right here. Now, this Byron Jones situation is really, really intriguing, right? Because Byron Jones didn't say nothing the whole year. And I understand, like, he's hurt, right? He's not playing. But all of a sudden he can't run and he can't jump. Like, if you're not running and you're not jumping, I don't understand why the coaches are still asking questions about you and whether you're going to be able to play or not. Like, Byron Jones, I understand you're hurt, and you're saying you're hurt as a result of taking, the medications, the steroids that, the NFL doctors give you. But like, at some point, like, you got to take accountability for, like, what's going on, like, with your career. Like, we just wanted you to be able to play. Like, and I understand if you can't play, just say, hey, I'm not ready to go, coach, and I won't be ready to go for the season. Byron Jones was never put on IR. He was never put on injury reserve at any point in the season. So it's just weird to me that we waited like, why are we waiting around thinking he's going to play and he is clearly not going to play? I didn't understand it. And it kind of threw a wrench in, my thought process too, because I'm thinking, hey, if he's not on injury reserve, then he should be able to go, or he must be close to being able to go, right? We had to think he was close. I just didn't understand it, man. I didn't understand it. So that Byron Jones situation, I think he's probably going to retire. I don't think we see Byron Jones play again. And I think he really just hurt his stock by coming out and saying that. And he had originally backtracked a little bit as soon as he said, like, people come out and say, oh, he's not retiring, but I can't run or jump. Bro, if you can't run or jump, you're not playing football no more. Like, you can't do it. So I hope he didn't jump the gun too early. Saying you can't run or jump, that's kind of extreme, bro. So you go from being one of the most athletic dudes in the league to not being able to do anything. That's tough. That's tough. My man Luchin Jackpot says, does AVG get an extension? Good question. That's going to be totally up to Fangio and how he sees him in this system. That's a really good question. But I think that's it. If I made a decision on that, or if I told you something, it would just be prematurely guessing, because I don't know how he's going to implement AVG in this system. So I think if AVG is a guy he sees something in and sees himself as a key piece to making the defense work, I can see us giving him an extension. But I think he's got to see him play in the system prior to do that. Prior to doing that. Kahari P says, Kahari, what's good with you, man? How you feeling? He says, can't support a QB who dances so sloppily. Sloppy, man. When was he dancing sloppy? That's a wolf pack. That's a wolf pack type comment, Kahari. It's a wolf pack type comment. Where was he dancing sloppy? Was he a little lit? Was he a little tipsy? Maybe a little drunk for his birthday? That is normal. People dance drunk on their birthday all the time. Like, what are you talking about? If your man ain't lit, then he's kind of a weirdo. Like, you should be lit on your birthday. If there's any time you should be lit, it should be your birthday. And you should be dancing crazy and you should be wilding out. That's what I want to see on your birthday. That's what normal people do. Cross Pond says, I feel like this year, while still on the rookie contract, we go buy expensive QB. We won't be able to get our other holes filled. Yeah, of course, man. If we go spend a bunch of money on our quarterback, we're just kind of setting ourselves back, and we probably have to get rid of some of the assets that we have right now. Of course, that makes sense, man. Across the pond, you talking real football today. I like that, man. Always. Irv said, agreed, Jimmy, and we need good depth behind two at left tackle. Yep. So we need somebody behind Teron Armstead. We do. We need somebody who could play behind him. Dade County, wow, what's good with you, man? He says, what position you picking at 51? It's going to depend on free agency. like it's going to depend on what we do in free agency. If we fill middle linebacker and we fill cornerback and stuff, then I may go running back. If we fill running back in free agency and we get Jalen Ramsey, then I may go middle linebacker. It depends. It's going to depend on what we do in free agency. Once free agency opens, we'll have a better idea. Will we draft a running back before the 7th round? Possibly. Do we? I mean, if we don't have a running back in free agency,
I hope so.
Okay.
Yeah, I hope so, because we're gonna need him, man. So hopefully we have hopefully we have a running back by that time. Whether it's free agency, if not the draft, then I mean we got to get one in the draft if we don't got one in free agency. So hopefully that's the case. What else we got? What other questions, man? Y'all got some good questions. Tight ends. I'm not sure, man. Honestly, I'm not sold on the tight end in this offense. I think Smythe is good enough, right? I like Smythe. Hunter Long, we got to see something out of this kid, bro. I'm just like, we got to see some of these guys make some plays, man. So I'm not even gonna stress the tight end position. I would rather us go get receivers and stuff like that. We got a fullback. We got tight ends on the roster already. I'm not trying to draft one. Maybe if we pick one up for free agency, hey, it's a luxury. I like it. Raphael says, lawsuit to follow, or are the Dolphins going to let the dude still collect money? He's got to go. We ain't letting nobody collect money. You either can run or jump, or you getting cut. I think that's the look for Byron Jones. Irv says, my favorite backup quarterbacks are Andy Dalton and Matt Ryan. If not them, then Jimmy G or Chris Heineke. I like Heineke. I don't like Jimmy G, but I think he would be a good backup. Matt Ryan, I think a little bit too past his prime. Andy Dalton, he's kind of in between that, past his prime and can go. So he'd be one of the tweeners that I rock with. Any more questions for me? Man, who is this? Jimmy Satterfield says, who would we take with our first pick in the draft? It could be, and that's what I said, it could be linebacker, could be corner. It's just going to depend what we do in free agency. Just going to depend on what we do in free agency. What about Pollard? I like Pollard. I do like Pollard, Raul. He's a good quarterback, man. So yeah, man, I'm gonna get out of here. We've been going for an hour, man. I appreciate everybody coming out. I appreciate everybody rocking with Doug. If you don't subscribe to Dudley Do Wrong, you tripping. Dude puts out great content. He's consistent. He's always giving us stuff to think about in reference to the Dolphins. Man, I appreciate you guys coming out. Big shout out to everybody in the chat tonight. It was subscribers only. If you haven't subscribed, be sure to do that. I'm going to post a link for you guys. Yeah, man. So I appreciate everybody coming out. A lot of my guys are here, man. A lot of my day ones are in the building right now. My day ones in the building holding it down. Hey, shout out to all you guys. I really appreciate you guys coming to rock with me. We're at about 610 subscribers. Working my way to 1,000. When we get to 1,000, we're gonna do a big giveaway. Maybe I give away the Dolphins helmet in the back. Maybe I give away some Dolphins cards or something. I got a bunch of stuff to give away. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to you guys coming through. I'm gonna be more consistent too. I'm gonna drop another video this week talking about the Miami Dolphins. Maybe I'll go live again Friday. Maybe Miami Sports Music. Let's see. Maybe we do something. Maybe we get back on, man. So really looking forward to seeing you guys out rocking with the kid. I'll see you guys around in the community, in the Twitter spaces. You'll hear me. I'll be on panels all around. So be sure to check me out. If you don't see me here, I'm definitely around. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Be good. Be blessed. Peace. I'm out. This man.
Came from the bottom, that's foreign. I swear that I'm up for the sun in the morning. Oof, hey, I gotta flex. I need a Nike bag, give me the check. I need the money and power, respect, but I promise I'm repping the O to the dead. Hey, oof, I told them out of my way. I don't got nothing to say. Now they can't run on my pace. Yeah, they know that we ain't the same. 402, we rap the gang. I told them this ain't a game.
Yo, Mace, what's good with you, my boy? Hey, S. Harris, damn, go back and watch it, bro. You missed it. You missed it, man. Appreciate y'all coming through. Mace, what's up with you, big homie? Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. I'm out, man. Y'all be good, man. Later, alligator.